Hello Thistledown Gang, welcome back to my channel if you've already been here. If not, hi, it is lovely to have you here. Please stay, by that I mean subscribe. Welcome to the end of Fashion Revolution week, I guess. Today I'm showing you how to basically copy a pair of pants.
One of the things I absolutely abhor going shopping for are pants. Pants are annoying. They never have the right fit, or the right color, or they don't look quite as bootylicious as I want them to. It's just no fun. At the same time, sewing trousers seems to be a bit of a daunting task to non-professional sewists such as myself. Especially as the aforementioned issues are the same with board patterns, and you can't even try them on before you buy or sew them. Don't worry though. All it actually takes is one pair of pants that fit you reasonably well to generate a plethora of patterns in all the styles you want in about 6 steps. And it's not even that complicated. I can do it, so can you. I'll be demonstrating the technique I use to copy the pattern of an existing pair of trousers on this pair here. It's comfy and flattering, but it's annoyingly low-rise and has absolutely disgraceful pockets that do not even deserve that label. The plan is to make these pants into old-timey +4s at a later date and also add better pockets. But first I need to preserve that posterior for posterity. Oh yes, I went there. Lay out your pants on a sufficiently big piece of drafting paper and turn one of the legs inside out. Only one. Then you grab the second leg, the one that is still right side out, and you stuff it down the first one. Tug and prod at it until it lies flat. That is the most important part of the whole process, and it's basically half the battle, because now it already looks like half a pant leg. Pin down one side and trace it. If you simply trace along the edges of your pant leg, you'll have built-in seam allowance, because that's essentially what the fabric between the seam and the edge is. If you don't want that, fold in the seam allowance and trace along the seam itself. I personally like giving myself the seam allowance at first and then cutting it off after having made a mock-up and fine-tuning that. If, like mine here, you have a larger and a smaller side of the leg, you need to unpin and then rearrange your fabric to cover the whole piece. Keep an orientation point. The saddle and center seam here work very well, and go from there, slowly marking your way down. Keep checking the width, and if in doubt, add space rather than subtract it. You can always make it narrower later on. The front bit of my pants actually lay flat, so no finagling here. This is an example for nice, straightforward, adaptable pants, and I wish the whole thing was... never mind. Construct the fly by making a copy of your crotch seam and then either measure or eyeball the size. To no one's surprise, I go with the eyeballing. I usually just construct a new saddle when I'm making pants, so I opt for sketching the original one onto my main pattern piece and go from there, but you could also make an extra piece for that. Time! And that's a basic trouser pattern. But wait, there's more. Now, because this is a tiny little revolution we're doing here and we're also experimental, we'll make add-ons for those basic pants. I have several pairs that I like details of, but I don't see much merit in adapting every pattern anew, so I'm taking those details and just chimera it up instead. Here we have the waist of a pair of high-waist jeans. Just draw to the lowest point of the crotch seam so you'll have a reference point again, and then trace the upper part like you did before. I only marked where the dots sit and how long they are, because weight fluctuates and I'd rather not have it set in stone or paper. Instead, I give the waist a bit more room so I can make the right kind of dot up as I go. I made a longer button fly for these as well as a pocket pattern because, you know, pockets. Pockets are nice. These are 80s business pants and I absolutely love the top pleats. They would be so nice for a pair of vintagey shorts a la George of the Famous Five. You could measure the depth of the pleats, but I just use my pinky for measurement and then mark how much of the fabric should be folded together. And this one is a bit more experimental. The pants are made from stretch fabric and my new pattern is meant for non-stretch, so I will have to modify this bit later on, but for now I just trace the part and again account for the dart in there. I like this biker style detail and I hope I'll find a way to incorporate it into my Histopunk wardrobe.
Time to take that pattern for a test drive and make a pants chimera to see if it actually works.
Montage time! I stuck the chimera pieces together and smoothed out the edges after drawing a line for future reference, and I'm making my mock-up from this old set of sheets that seem to have the overarching theme of rich white people hobbies, very 80s academia, or the camp side of Dead Poets Society. Fun thing, fly flaps go under the front seam with modern pants, but over it in historical models like 18th century bridges, so that's actually a neat little detail if you ever want a bit more history in your closet, but only in a way that other nerds can appreciate. Ta-da! It works! I'm really pleased with these. Two back darts later, I took in the legs a little because I like my pants more fitting at the moment and I can still make them wider if need be. For that I kept flexing my leg to see where I required the most space, as I do have shapely calves, eat your heart out Henry VIII, and pinned the fabric down as needed. I also tried the biker knee bit on one side. I was too lazy to do it on both sides. Don't tell anyone. I think there's potential, even if it's not perfect yet. I'll have to keep working on that detail. Otherwise the fit is great, the waist is high, the pockets are decent, and I'll have to make a pair from something that isn't an atrocious thrifted 90s Benetton bedsheet. I do like the diamond pattern though.
So that's that. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for giving me the attention that I so desperately crave. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, maybe comment, and most of all, if you know someone who could benefit from this video, share it, because that's how we grow the gang here. And I really like the thought of having a community of like-minded individuals. And with that, I leave you for now until we meet again. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm not that happy with my sign off. Anywho, I hope you stay inspired. Farewell.